disposals.
So Livingstone this time inside the forward line doing the chop out work. A quick snap comes from the Eagles. Can this be the first score? And like we saw at the
kick, he's about 35 metres out. He's going to hook it round the corner. And he's just missed. So the Eagles get the first score of the board from a tight angle. Where is he going to go to? He'll set it up to the hot spot. Swans around the ball. Watson's one of them, but what a big leap. Livingstone. Back of the pack. And now he'll have a chance for the first goal of the match from 20 metres out. And what's he done with this one? The goal umpire had to shuffle, but he has put
goals against West Perth last week as well. So adds to his tally for the season. We're underway once more in the heart of the ground. Cotalessa, his second game of league footy.
Lee Coleman, 14 goals for the season. And as he said, Roth in that top 10 for the Bernie Naylor medal. Back in the centre, ball spills out. It now comes to Clark. Hurries the here at Steel Blue Oval, considering the cool conditions that we've had here in Perth throughout the day. Chesser on the end of it. Wheels around onto that right foot. It's a long 19. It's their 100th game this afternoon. But the Swans will be keen to spoil the party. Livingstone got the palm down. Ball spills to ground, and now it comes back to Livingstone, who throws it onto his boot. Plenty of distance with the kick, and in front. A terrific mark taken inside 50. And it's Caleb Datson, who just ran in unchecked.
Absolutely not, and it's going to be those non-AFL listed players to contribute as much as the AFL ones out there. Livingstone, another clearance, doing it both in the air. That played a couple of games at the West Coast Eagles well over a decade ago now. Livingstone, he's been one of the more impressive Eagles in this first quarter. Goes up to a pack, coming down on the crumb, but nonetheless the ball is still wrapped up in the Eagles forward line. Livingstone grabs it out of the ruck, but can't move whatsoever. It's up to 5 disposals, Coen Livingstone. Impressive numbers for a ruck. How about that tap down as well? The handball came out and hope more than anything and expect Swans to professionally rush this match in the last few minutes. Shalcraft getting busy as he always does. Off the outside. Second quarter. Jukic straight palms it down to Shalcraft. Could have been a high free kick. Umpire was probably blindside. So Jukic has quite the experience. How about that palm down? Shalcraft. That could be goal of the year. Hits
in their forward half. Jukic and Livingstone. Livingstone got the knockdown, but it's going to be the Eagles who emerge with the clearance. And they set it up now to a silver lining there on that passage of play. He was able to keep it alive. Toss back in. Jukic in front position. Got hands to it. Clark goes to ground. So too Edwards Baldwin. Brilliant smother there. 6 points the Eagles' way. Rucks go at it. Jukic got front position. Eagles with some numbers waiting down. Davis dispossessed.
Yeah, the Swans have tried for the most part of today, but find themselves in front now. And Brad Lynch, who, as you mentioned, played reserves last week, back into the lineup, which will have a stoppage, which, well, of course, 9 games with the Western Bulldogs and played in Essendon's VFL program as well, as Jukic tries to grab it out of the ruck. Clark potentially could have been caught high. We're pretty content to go into the main break with the lead, but the Eagles, they're not going to stop at anything to try and break the deficit.
Absolutely. A big chance here for the Eagles. Some minutes to go. Livingstone just took Jukic out of it and threw it onto his boot. Inside 50. But keeps lead by a goal. Tossed back into play on right half forward. Front position Barnett. Got the tap out. Now Sparks. Throws it onto his in the Jukic tackle. Umpire will toss it back up. Livingstone in front. Got the palm down. Players putting their heads over the football, and the Eagles will emerge with it.
On the board as well. A moment he'd probably like again, but nonetheless, it's still inside forward 50. But the Eagles are going to try and break out of jail, which they do so for now.
Got ourselves a game.
Sure do. Less than a goal separating them at this time, heading towards the 29-minute mark of the second quarter. Swans, the Eagles have never beaten Swans in 10 encounters with them. Sparks is that there. Hand pass over the top. Was
the better out of this stoppage. 33 plays 28. Tossed up. Players overrunning it. Sparks almost slung his opponent there. Play on, says the 3-on-1 really made the difference there. Fisting it away for a behind.
Into the direction of the tall timber, Livingstone. That's a mark on the second juggle. Hand passes off to the hard-running McCarthy. Lowers his eyes. Goes to Hall. He wants to back McCarthy. This is why they drafted him. The ability to follow up and kick with precision. That was in the path now. Shellcraft came off his footing. Connor Lesser at the coalface.
Swan Districts looking for their third of the quarter. Ukic and Livingstone. Comes to Gross. He gets wrapped up by O'Donoghue. Will ball it up. Players putting their heads over the football as we toss it back up again. Ukic and Livingstone. Livingstone got hands to it, and now the Eagles will clear through Chesser. Campbell Chesser clearing that one out of the defensive 50, and now it's tossed back up. Ukic palms it down, looking to get on the end of it is Edwards Baldwin, and Swan Districts with numbers at the front of the book their way back into this one, but they have got plenty of work to do.
Looked pretty good, that shot on goal there from Coen, but not to be. Here come the Swans. Have to backtrack Momack as well. 37 hit-outs, which is what he had last week as well, despite only having 3 touches. And he's getting on top of both of the Eagles' rucks as Turner comes out on the non-preferred.
Oh, but the Swans still hold a good buffer, but by no means perfectly comfortable. Livingstone palms it down, but here's McLaughlin. He's been on fire this afternoon as he drives this one long up towards half.
There's many twists and turns you feel coming in this one. There's a whistle. It's going to go the way of the Eagles. Can they capitalise furthermore? At full stretch was Livingstone. Good athleticism for a man over 200 centimetres. He loves to pump it in long, and this is no exception. Goes in the direction of Yo. Barnett elected not to fly. Stevens. Davis. Again, has to go back. They pump it once more. Gross loses his footing. Umpire said it was legal. Snatched out there. It's going to be a matter of who can take their chances as players become more tired as this one goes along. Gross wasn't expecting it. Hall has to just settle for 2.
50. The only one that is on his radar at the moment is Shanahan. I reckon he'd be sticking with him one-on-one.
Yeah, it's interesting because Shanahan's shown his ability to intercept, so I'm not sure.
27 minutes almost gone in this third quarter. Barnett going up with the big leap. O'Donoghue pulls it back around the body. The margin. Can the Swans get another one before three-quarter time? Thumped away by Ukic. Livingstone is able to clear. Still enough window of time remaining. Would be huge heading into the last quarter. Bit of a very deep throw in there. Ukic looked to thump it out, but it's into the hands of Rawlinson, who time will tell. 27 points the margin as we get it back to the centre. Livingstone looks to thump it out. Clark dispossessed. Gets a second bite of the cherry, but not. On the forward side of centre for Swan Districts. Clark gets written into the ground by the Eagles' debut. He and Connor Klemke. But Klemke is not out there on the ground, unfortunately, today. As Swan Districts, a couple of Eagles players out the back of the contest there. Big fist from behind. Champion tried to storm through, but unfortunately couldn't go anywhere further. And now the Eagles with a chance. Champion. Here's...
So again, although the Eagles got it past halfway, the Swans being able to just get it back in the direction that it came from in no time, which seems like the right move, having to go at all costs. Nothing to lose type mentality maybe from Kyle Horsley, considering the 28-point margin. Chipper lowers his
options, none presenting, so he has to drive this one towards midfield. Livingstone! Brilliant mark by the former Demon. Oh, a bit of panic handball, but Champion goal. The umpire's just awaiting ruck nominations. Away we go again. Livingstone applies the tackle. Good follow-up work there, but... Livingstone again. Lucassen. Perhaps his direct opponent up. Swan Districts have the bye. West Coast, they'll go to Mineral Resources Park to play Perth, and then it's the Swans' turn to play Perth in a fortnight's time as Watson gets wrapped up in the tackle. Umpire calls round 21 last year when they defeated Perth to sew up the double chance. Ball spills out the back. Grego, his handball was a bit ambitious.
Perspective, but as far as today is concerned, they have more than done enough. Back in the middle again. Hall. 28-minute mark of this one. Livingstone taps it down. Hall had Gross out the back off a standing step, just pumps it in the air. It's a bit of a heli. So they've responded really well to a 42-point loss against Claremont last week, and they keep their perfect record alive against the West Coast.